Once again, it's time to upsize this week of Road Warrior, specifically delivering those 3 rows I always talk about. But, well, let's just get down to the nuts and bolts of it. How well does, well, this offering do this week when it comes to both overall size, maneuverability, and, well, just the fact of what is that bottom line? This week's test drive is the 2020 Chevrolet Traverse, and what this vehicle does well is pretty much right through here with that third row of occupancy. Now, many of you might say this is overkill for the average family, but even for the family of 3 that's, well, kind of on the go and wants to get to the soccer game, sometimes it's, well, about delivering the rest of the team as well. And better yet, you're not doing it with the old sliding doors, but instead a nice cool factor from the outside. Now, for a vehicle to deliver 3 rows of comfort, they've got to, well, deliver when it comes to size. But too big, well, it feels like a land yacht. Too small, well, they're just trying to be more than they actually are. The Traverse fits right in between. Not too big, not too small, and better yet, even there in the cheap seats can handle my 6-foot lanky frame, giving comfort pretty much all the way around this vehicle. Now, by the numbers, this vehicle measured in about 204 inches, easily creeping into that full-size segment. As for the wheelbase, around about 120, but other numbers to think about really is width, around about 78 inches wide. Obviously delivering, well, that width, which means great hip room when it comes to sitting side by side. Lastly is height, not too shabby, around about 70 inches. So when it comes to vehicles with 3 rows of comfort, oftentimes there's, well, no leftover space there at the back end, and that's mainly because the vehicle is trying to do too much, falling just short of comfort back here, and, well, there's just no leftover space to deliver equipment. And, well, what's the point when you have an SUV that can get the team to the game but can't deliver the gear? Well, the Traverse does both. Plenty of comfort here at the back end and cargo to boot, and the way they get there is in the design. First off is the cool factor, like I said, with no sliding doors. Second is the fact that they make the design squared off. Pretty much no curvation is to be found, specifically here at the back end. Oftentimes vehicles that are trying to look too cool give this a very sloped roofline, obviously giving an aerodynamic and fluid approach, but this squares things off, naturally delivering when it comes to cargo space. So let's dive inside to see what this vehicle delivers. So the cargo numbers aren't too shabby, around about 23 cubic feet of space here behind the third row. Gets to about 57 with the third row laid flat, and with everything changed in the cargo, it's going to be over 90 cubic feet, certainly making this a family hauler, transform into a do-it-yourself project wagon. Now, where it begins is obviously here at the back hatch. No proverbial pop glass, which I do prefer because that does help cargo that's too long extend out the back, but these have truly gone away. Instead, just a fixed glass is going to be traditional with the rear hatch. But one thing I do like with this particular model is it is powered, and there's, well, several ways to get there, but one hands-free approach is coming right about here, swinging your leg back and forth, and it opens with ease. And what I like is, well, it's fairly easy to do, and no longer do I look awkward like I've mentioned in other videos where I just can't figure out how to get it to go. Now, once it's open, this is the space I'm talking about. Tons of extra space, again around about 23 cubic feet, and it's not just vertical space, lots of dimension through here. Now, what you're also going to find underneath here is even better. Deep cargo compartment that is kind of weatherproof with kind of a plastic material, and that's really going to be great for those muddy cleats. I can sling right in here, so, well, you don't harm the carpet on the inside. Now, since I bragged quite a bit about the third row comfort, let's just skip to the chase and show what it really delivers. Now, first off is legroom numbers, around about 41 inches in the front, 38 inches in the second row, and 33 inches in the back. Not too bad of numbers already here at the back end, but where it truly comes into play is right through the middle with the give and take of being able to move this second row back and forth. And what that means is, well, you're easily going to gain a couple of inches for these average size individuals here. That basically means there's not really a bad seat in the house. Now, naturally, this is the premium model. Second row is in the form of captain chairs, give a nice quick ingress into the back. As you creep to the back, kind of theater styling, it raises just a hair, naturally to be expected over that rear axle. So let's take a quick glance at, well, how to transform this. I'm on the second row passenger side of this vehicle, really to talk about the differences between this side and the driver's side when it comes to the second row captain chairs. Now, naturally, I thought they both would be created equal when it comes to maneuverability. Just not the case. General Motors pretty much taking the stance that when it comes to picking people up, well, you're probably going to do it from this side, pull it right to the curb, people gain access, maybe swing this chair out of the way, get to the third row. But my argument is when you're at home in the driveway, it's more of a free-for-all. So when you're on the driver's side, just not the same access. Instead, over there, you're going to have to come right through the middle, maybe through the captain chairs, or come all the way around this side and do the easy access. And what I'm referring to is how to transform this vehicle. First off, both sides do transform to cargo fairly easy. A handle down here on the side, just simply pull it, lays flat. The difference comes when gaining access to the third row. Where you find it on this side is a handle here on the side. Just simply pull it one time. It's going to both tilt and slide forward, really giving tons of room right through here. My one question is, why not do that on the driver's side? Just not the case. Now, once this is out of the way, what you're going to notice is plenty of room. And once you get inside, you'll be able to maneuver this just a little bit more, put a little more pressure on it, slides forward, and really gives you tons of room getting inside here. Once you're back here, backseat driver, real easy to pull this back, set it back into place. And what I found, even again for my tall frame, is plenty of room. And better yet, with the captain chairs, able to take this inner leg and put it right down the middle, really almost making it feel like I'm stretched out. Legroom is one component for backseat drivers, but the next thing is comfort, and airflow is crucial. And what I like here on the Traverse is the TriZone system with all the controls for the second row right behind the center console. Now it's in the form of fan speed adjustment, temperature select, as well as heated seats for the second row captain chairs, and even better, mode select, really selecting where that air is flowing, either through the top vents or down at the floor. Also, another big feature is connectivity in the form of traditional household outlet, 2 USB connections here for the second row. Even better for backseat occupants, a USB connection on both sides. Now, when it comes to ingress in the vehicle, we certainly see how it operates on the inside, but it starts here on the outside, right here at the door. And what I like on the Traverse with the smart key system, they provide access points at every door. Sometimes that's just not the case, making smart key systems look kind of dumb. But here on this model, I like the fact that whenever I walk up to a door, there's a nice button. I press it, gain access with ease. When I walk away, press it again, real nice and simple. That just seems to be a hard point to push out to some of the competition. Now, as it starts to get dark out, one thing I always mention is the brightness of the headlights, the throw down the road, the illumination, the safety for the driver. But long before you crank the car, well, it all starts here at the door. And what I like here on the Traverse is the illumination. Just simply open the door and it brightens the path right down on the bottom, really illuminating access into the vehicle. The only problem, once again, it's not created equal across the board. Getting to the second row, open the door, there's just not the same illumination, though I would argue the bright LED lights here at the back end do a pretty good job. Quick glance down the center of the dash, first starting with the MyLink touchscreen system, real easy use, naturally what General Motors has had out for years. Now, one thing General Motors isn't doing, which some of the competition is more of a split screen, which gives you multiple viewpoints. Instead, they're sticking with just the singular view and the shortcuts down below. Again, not a bad choice and pretty easy to use. Now, as you scroll down, you will find various controls down here for climate, dual zones up front, fan speed found in the form of these buttons right through here, as well as cooled seats found up here as well, heated down below. Connectivity you'll find in the form of 2 USBs, auxiliary jack, and traditional car power outlet. What I also like, though, for those that have wireless charging is what's below. Simply this little pad area right through here. Put your phone in just a couple of seconds, it'll begin charging. Now, between the front occupants, you will find the good old gear shifter, dual cup holders, and this is all-wheel drive, which means you have the changing of the features right through here. In the center console, what you're going to find is a nice illuminated storage box upper tray right here. Once it's removed, deep area really to house a whole bunch of things. One thing you won't find is connectivity. Traditionally, I find that you can put some gear here, charge it up, just not the case, but again, plenty of extra room to put some storage items. Now, to be expected under the hood, decent power plant, a 3.6 liter V6 engine that delivers 310 horses and 266 foot-pounds of torque. It is coupled to a 9-speed automatic. Best of all is decent fuel economy, but also towing power, because sometimes it's not about the soccer game, but maybe taking the grown-up toys called a boat or some other features. That means you can tow up to about 5,000 pounds, so you can take the family after the soccer game to the lake. That does for this edition of Road Warrior, and a test drive behind the wheel of the 2020 Chevrolet Traverse, a vehicle that upsizes what people can do. Not just about the family on the go, but maybe the people that, have friends. That means everyone can go to the party and have fun in one fell swoop. And best of all, they do it quite comfortably. Now, what we like is obviously the power plant on the hood, this one having the premium features, and of course you can go hands-free there at the back end. And don't forget, when you take the people, you can also take their gear. Now, as always, thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.